Hello, in this video we're going to be looking at simplifying fractions. So by the end of this video, that is what we should be able to do. Now simplifying fractions is very similar to equivalent fractions that we looked at in the last video. So let's look at an example. So we're asked here to simplify this fraction 12/15ths. And what that means is I want to find an equivalent fraction, something that's equivalent to 12/15ths, so the same as 12/15ths, but where these numbers are as small as I can possibly make them. So we're going to need to find something that's equivalent to 12/15ths, but with smaller numbers. So I've got this grid here where we've got 15 wee boxes that is split up into. So if I shade in 12 of those, so here we go. If I shade in, here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those boxes. There we go, that's 12/15ths, right? We can see that there. So I've got 12/15ths here. But can we see another way, a simpler way, that we could describe that fraction? Well, I reckon it's the same as, well, let's look at how many rows we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and I've shaded in precisely 4 of those rows, haven't I? 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, so 4/5. It's the same as 4/5. Now there's a faster way that I could get there without having to draw out and colour in this grid, because what I can do is I can look at these numbers here, the 12 and the 15, and I can say, right, well, what times table are these numbers both in? And the answer is the 3 times table. They're both in the 3 times table. So then I can say to myself, well, 12, how many 3's make 12? Let's divide that by 3. And the answer we get, of course, is 4. I could do the same on the bottom. I could say, right, how many 3's make 15? What do I get if I divide 15 by 3? And the answer is 5. So 12 divided by 3, I get 4. 15 divided by 3, I get 5. So these fractions are equivalent fractions, and this is the simplest one. I've simplified the fraction all the way down, so 4/5 is the same as 12/15ths, but this is the simplest one, so I've simplified the fraction. Let's try another. So we're asked here to simplify 10/15ths, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to draw out the picture, I'm just going to go straight on to thinking about my times tables. So I want a number, a times table rather, that has both 10 and 15 in it. So what times table has 10 and 15? I reckon the 5 times table has 10 and 15 in it. So let's see how many 5's make 15 and how many 5's make 10. So let's have a look. 10 divided by 5, well, that's 2, isn't it? 2 5's make 10. And 15 divided by 5, 5, 10, 15, so that was 3. So my answer is 2/3. 10/15ths is equal to 2/3, and this is the simplest version. That's simplified. Let's try another. Now this time I've got 30/42ths, or 30/42, and I want to try and simplify that. Now the numbers are a bit bigger this time, so it's still the same idea, but it's just going to be a little bit more complicated. So first off, what can I divide both of these by? What times table has both 30 and 42 in it? Well, I reckon that these are both even numbers, aren't they? So that means they're definitely both in the 2 times table. So let's start off by dividing by 2. Dividing by 2, dividing by 2. Now, 30 divided by 2. How many 2's make 30? The answer is 15 of them. And 42 divided by 2, how many 2's make 42? The answer is 21 of them. Now, I'm not quite finished yet, because there is still a times table that has both of these numbers in them. There's still something that I can divide both of these by, and that is 3. They're both in the 3 times table. So if I divide this one by 3, there we go, divide this one by 3, and if I divide this one by 3, that will be my answer. So 15 divided by 3, that's 5. And 21 divided by 3, well, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, that was 7. 5/7. So when I simplify this all the way down, and we had to do it in 2 steps there, we get 5/7. Now what you might have been able to do is spot straight away that actually there's a bigger factor that we could have divided by, because both of these are actually in the 6 times table. So if we'd started with our 30 over 42 and gone straight away to dividing by 6, dividing by 6, we would have got straight away to our answer, which was 30 divided by 6. Well, that's 5 6s, and 42 divided by 6 is 7. You see we get the same answer either way. So this way, I did it in 2 steps, where I spotted there was a factor of 2 and then a factor of 3. This way, I did it in just 1 step. I spotted that there was a factor of 6, and I went all the way down to 5/7. So either way, 5/7 is my final answer. That's what happens when I simplify this fraction. Final one we'll look at then, another one with big numbers here. We've got 60 150ths. 60 150ths, but we're going to simplify this in exactly the same way. We're going to first of all say, what times table has both of these numbers in them? What can I divide them both by? Now, because they both end in a 0, I know that they must both be in the 10 times table. So I can divide by 10 on the top. Oops. And I can divide by 10 on the bottom. And if I do that, how many 10s make 60? Well, 6 of them. How many 10s make 150? Well, 15 of them. And again, like in the last example, I'm not quite finished yet, because there's still a common factor. There's still something I can divide both of these guys by, and that number is 3 this time. These are both in the 3 times table. So if we divide by 3 on the top, we can divide by 3 on the bottom. And what do we get then? We get how many 3s make 6? 2 of them. How many 3s make 15? 5 of them. So we've got 2/5. 2/5 is my answer. When I simplify down 60 150ths, the answer is 2/5. Great stuff.